This is the second drawing tutorial for the fidget spinner. The first one we did the bearing, and now in this tutorial, we're going to do the fidget body. So we're going to start here in the fidget body. We're going to right click where it shows up in the parts tree, and then we're going to go to create drawing of spinner. If yours doesn't say spinner, if it says part one, again, if you named it something different, that's fine. We just want to create a drawing of whatever you named it. You should by now have the RiverTech template. So we're going to choose the RiverTech template, and then we're going to choose for views, click OK. Okay, I'm going to start by coming down here into my template, and I'm going to change the name of the class. So I'll double click to get into this text box, call this production and fabrication. Okay, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to change my text size to 150 thousandths or 0.150 inches. I'm going to embolden it, and then I'm going to green check. Down here where it says CAD block 1, I'm going to double click on that, highlight it, and then I'm going to change this to fidget body. And then I'm going to green check. So I know I'm going a little bit fast, but again, this is stuff that we've done a few times now. If you completed all the CAD blocks previously this year, or if you completed the bearing drawing in the last video set, then this should be something you've already experienced at least once. So now I'm going to come over here, and you'll notice that for all the real estate I have on this paper, for all the space I have, this is kind of small. So I'm going to double click on this view, and I'm going to change my scale. So instead of being half the size it normally is, I'm going to make it full size, which would be scaled 1:1. So 1 inch on the drawing is 1 inch in real life on the paper. Okay, so now that I scaled that up, you'll notice they all come with a scale label because none of them are being viewed at the scale that was set up on the sheet. And that's fine. So anytime you change the scale on something, it's going to want to append or add a label to it. So now I'm going to add in my dimensions. So I'm going to go to my dimension tool, or you can hit D on your keyboard. I'll zoom in over here, and I'm going to dimension the height of this. So from the top to the bottom, I'll come over here and drop that dimension. Now, this is the only tricky spot on this whole thing. If I want to dimension the pinch radius, so from the center of this all the way out to the outside edge, that's important to me because when I use the fidget spinner and I hold it in my hand, if this dimension is too long, then when I go to swing it or when I go to spin it, it's going to hit the inside of my hand. All right, so having that dimension is important to me. If I try to go from here to this outside arc, what's it going to do? Well, it's going to give me a dimension that goes from the center to center distance, and that's not what I want. So in order to get around that, I'll select that. I hit escape to get out of my dimension tool, and now I'm selecting it and I'm deleting it. So in order to get around that, I'm going to go up to my drawing tools. And depending upon how zoomed in your browser is, you might have to go to the line tool. There's a little arrow next to it and come down to the sketch point tool. If your browser is zoomed out, then you might see the sketch point tool out here all by itself. All right, I'm zoomed in. All right, so it's easier to just grab it from a drop-down menu. So, and then with that sketch point tool selected, I'm going to zoom in way in up here. And I want to get this triangle shape where the center line meets that outside arc. Now, if for whatever reason your center line doesn't meet that outside arc, then you can basically just find the center line and then work your way out until it snaps to that point. So now what I'm going to do is I'll go to my dimension tool. I'm going to hit D on my keyboard, and then I'm going to click the center, and I'm going to click on that point, and you'll see it allows me to dimension that. Notice how I'm dragging my dimension off of the drawing. I don't want it cluttering up the object geometry. Okay, that's important to me. So I'm going to hit enter because I'm done. And now I'm going to zoom out. You'll notice that my dimensions are in imperial. All right, if I hit the F key, I'm going to zoom to fit. They're in imperial. So if I want them to show up as metric, okay, I can do dual dimensioning like I did before. So let's get out of the dimensioning tool. So I'll hit escape on my keyboard, and then I'm going to double click and set this for dual dimension. So that way I get the best of both worlds. I'm going to show my units like I did in the last video. Okay, click off. I'm going to move this up and to the side a little bit. So that way it uses this bent leader line, all right, to indicate that dimension for me. Doesn't clutter up down here. Cleanliness and and clarity are a key component of doing CAD like this. The idea is clear and effective communication. So on this one here, if I double click, it's going to want to change the dimension, and that's because I have a sketch item in here. So it's not going to let me dual dimension the way it is right now. So I'm going to hit escape, get out of that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to convert to a driven dimension. So once I convert this to a driven dimension, now I can double click on it and I can dual dimension it, just like we did before. All right. So at that point, I have all the dimensions that I need for this. There's a lot of other things you could dimension on here. But since I'm making this on a 3D printer, all I really want to know is, what is this pitch radius and how thick is it? Okay. So add yours to your documentation and move on to the last one, which should be for the hub.